Welcome back. One of you suggested recently in a comment under one of my videos that I should try to play the Maia bots on Lichess. I'm pretty sure I had heard of them before, but I had to take a look and see exactly what you were talking about. I did find this website here called MaiaChess.com. I guess that's how you pronounce that, Maia, a human-like neural network chess engine. And here it says, sorry, that's so bright. It says Maia's goal is to play the human move, not necessarily the best move. As a result, Maia has a more human-like style than previous engines, matching moves played by human players in online games over 50% of the time. I don't know if 50% is great or not. It feels like a lot of the 11, 12, 1300 rated bots on chess.com match human moves 50% of the time. A lot of times they play what I'm expecting them to. I would say it's less than 50% of the time when they make one of those crazy blunders that you recognize immediately, or they make a really good move that you're like, oh wow, that was definitely a bot found that move. But I don't know. I don't know anything about this, so I assume 50% is good. Otherwise, they wouldn't be bragging about it here. I'm not going to read all this, but it does say it's kind of like a deep learning framework like AlphaZero or Leela. They have trained 9 versions of Maia. It says 9 versions, but when you go to Lichess, I found this Maia bot here, bot Maia 1. And when I clicked on the search and typed in Maia, I only found 5 and 9. All the other numbers here do not say bots, so I assume they're just regular accounts. But anyway, I'm going to try 1, and then I'm going to try 5. I assume 9 is the strongest. If 1 is the strongest, I'm going to lose really fast. Also, unlike playing a normal game on Lichess, I don't know how to start this game, but this one says it's rated 1533 in Rapid, which is a little lower than I'm rated in Rapid right now on Lichess. I'm rated just over 1600. But in Blitz and Bullet, it's rated a lot better than me. It's rated 1550 in Bullet, and on Lichess, I'm pretty sure my Bullet rating's like 1190, and my Blitz rating, I can't remember exactly, but I think it's around 1290 or 1300. So this bot is rated, this lowest bot, I think it's the lowest one, is rated better than me in Bullet and Blitz, but not quite as good as me in Rapid, Classical, or Correspondence. It says it has played 244,000 Rapid games. That's a lot more games than I've played in Rapid. But anyway, I assume I can just click this challenge icon. There's a little pop-up on my screen that says challenge to a game, but I see that's not showing up in the video. I have no idea why that is. But anyway, I'm going to give it a try and see how this goes. Hopefully it'll be cropped correctly. If not, I will lose a few seconds of my time to recrop the screen. Maia 1, standard, time control. Should we do real time and make it, what, a 10+2? Casual? Yeah, I don't want to play a rated game against a bot. Pretty sure. Okay, maybe I should. And I will let the computer choose the colors and see how this works. That is not cropped correctly. Okay, I'm going to take a second here. Okay, I think we are playing now. What? Oh, right. Are we going to get... It's not the 4 knights scotch if it's d-pawns, right? But is that an actual opening? I don't know. I also know I can't pin that knight yet because the e-pawn hasn't moved. I have no idea what to do. Let me try the c-pawn. And oh, the bot took it? Okay. I think I can put that there and then play my e-pawn. I think, because my knights are guarding both of those center pawns. Well, not that one now because this knight's just been pinned. So should I take this pawn? But then that pawn's hanging now. Unless I push it forward. I should push this pawn forward, shouldn't I? How about that? Oh, then it's going to go there. Wow. Okay. Well, that was a human move, I suppose. I guess I can... I mean, because the knight's protected by the pawn, but they now have 2 attackers on it. So should I put the queen here? That threatens their knight and protects mine. I think that's what I'll do. Okay, they have just backed up. Now I should be able to take this pawn and then castle, I think. But they got my pawn, so we're even on material. Let's castle. I assume they're setting up for this, so I should probably retract this bishop just a little bit. And then maybe move the rook over and put this bishop here. Oh, they're going to bring the pawn anyway. Let's move the rook over and then put the bishop there maybe. Or should I first move this pawn? I don't like that, do I? But that knight really has nowhere to go right now. It would have to go here, I guess. But then... that's a problem, I assume, because it would open up my king. It would be an even exchange, but then my pawns are damaged and not a great idea. I guess I could block here. You know what? I can take a free pawn right now. Let's do that. And then I can bring this back here maybe. Okay, that's not a human move. There's only one legal move in that position. So yeah, any human would have known you have to do that. I don't know why it took the bot so long. Maybe it's programmed to take a certain amount of time for each move or something like that. I can threaten the queen here. It's protected by the knight. Okay, it moved, and then I can check here, which restricts the movement of that pawn, which I think is good. And then what I need to figure out is how can I get my queen over there now? Like, I think that's what I need to do right now, is try to get my queen here. Okay, that rook's not doing anything. What can they do to get out of this? I'm threatening mate. Can they get out of it? I don't think they can. Okay, well, I beat the Maia 1 bot, but I got checkmate in 19 moves. I'm going to click the analysis board and see if yep, it moved the analysis board over just a little bit as I expected. But, you know, let's see if I messed up pretty badly. I did apparently mess up pretty badly. I had 3 mistakes and a blunder according to this little chart down here, but the bot had 3 blunders and 3 mistakes, which is pretty bad for a 19 move game. It said the bot, you can't quite see it, but the bot played with 60% accuracy and I played with 76% accuracy. But apparently right here, I made a mistake. What was the move that I made? I took this pawn, and that was actually, no, that was counted as a blunder. According to the engine, I definitely should not have taken the pawn with the bishop, but I don't know why. I had 2 moves that maintained equality. One was knight to d7, which aims at that same pawn, and one was bishop to e7, which gets out of the way of castling. But why was taking the pawn bad? Because they can take here. Okay, I get that. I get that my c-pawn is pinned by the bishop right now, so I couldn't take back with the pawn. They could take here, I could take back with my knight, but then they would get my knight with their queen and be threatening this pawn and the bishop. Okay. I think that's why it is, because my bishop would be under attack, as well as this pawn with check. Whereas if I had just moved my bishop to e7 like it suggested, they could still take that pawn, and I could take back, and they could take here. But then I could castle, and my bishop would be safe. My queen would be protecting it here. But here it's not protected. Okay, I think I get that. It's a little, I may probably not advanced, but it's definitely not elementary. I'm not going to classify that as an elementary level blunder because this is a fairly complex series of events that leads to my bishop being in danger as well as this pawn, because the queen would be there on d5 and I couldn't take the queen with the pawn because of the bishop. Okay, so yeah, that's at least intermediate, so I don't feel too bad about that. But the bot didn't, that's the only move that gives the advantage here, which I'll give the bot credit. A human at my level would not have seen that, probably. But it didn't make its second best move either, which is moving the knight back here. I also don't think a human would have played that. Not at my level. Probably not. I don't know. Many humans at my level surprise me all the time. Or bishop to d2. The bot castled here, and that's probably what I would have played in the bot's place, to be honest. Or this right here. The a3, b4 series of moves that would, try to get my bishop to retreat somewhere after picking up that pawn. But according to the Lichess database here, which you see, castling is the most common move in this position among Lichess players. But the knight taking there is the second most common, which kind of surprises me. Are my settings based on my rating here? Yes. I have it set to Blitz and Rapid, 1200 through 1600. Really? So 26% of players at my level are finding that. Okay. Well, this leads me to believe that I probably won't beat the Maia 5 bot, but I have enough time. I'm going to give it a try. Let me search for it up here in the search box. Okay, Maia bot 5. Let's see, does it take me to their profile? Okay, this one's rated a little higher. It's kind of cropped off there. So 1593 rapid. Yeah, this one is rated higher than me in both bullet and blitz, and almost as high as me in rapid. A little higher than me in correspondence, but lower than me in classical. Very interesting. They're all in the 1500s except for correspondence, which is in the upper 1700s. But it hasn't played that many correspondence games. I find that interesting, and I don't think it's human, because humans, at least most of the ones that I've checked their profiles, we're rated a little higher in Blitz than we are in Bullet, most of us, and then we're rated a little higher in Rapid, and a little higher in Classical, and a little higher in Correspondence. That's what it looks like. It's certainly the case for me, but the bot's rated about the same in all of them. Maybe because the time factor isn't quite the same for the bot as it is for us. What does the check mark mean? Oh, it's a verified account. Wow. I didn't know you could be verified on Lichess. I'm going to click challenge. We'll do 10 plus 2 also. That way we really don't have to worry about the time. Let's try it. Oh, I go first. All right, we're going to get e4, e4. You know what? I'm getting tired of the knight to f3. Let's do knight to c3 and see what happens. Okay. Should I try this? Is that the Vienna Gambit? I haven't played knight to c3 in so long. I'm just going to try it and see what happens. Okay. I think now I can play this and wait. That pawn's hanging. I'm going to push that pawn and see if the knight goes someplace. Oh, it pinned itself. Wow. Okay. Then I can protect that pawn this way and then take this pawn, I think. I think that's well defended. If they're not going to take here. Okay. Well, I can get this bishop here and then castle. Yeah, it took a long time to take back there. What, 4 or 5 seconds? That's definitely the bot talking, not the human like neural engine or whatever. You know what? Let's just see if I can get that bishop to take that knight there, or if it's going to back off. It took. Okay, so I can line up a rook here on the b file. Oh, that's aiming for that pawn, isn't it? I think I can push that pawn. If the knight comes in, I can just bring my queen up, or you know what? Should I just ignore it? Should I bring the queen up first? Let's bring the queen up first to protect the pawn, and then, okay, maybe move this rook here to go after the knight. But no, I'm about to lose the bishop for the pawn. Let's see. I guess I could threaten their bishop too. No, their rook or their bishop could take there. But the bishop's not pinned anymore because I've castled. I can just move the bishop. Why didn't I do that? Why didn't I just move the bishop like this way? If they come after it with the other pawn, I'll move it again. But if not, I maybe... Oh, they did. Okay. Well, you know what? Let's go back one more. I still want to put my rook on the e-file with pinning that knight to their queen. Okay, that surprised me. I guess I have to take back. But I still wanted to play this. I almost played it anyway, but then I thought the knight could just go back. Okay, let's threaten the queen. See where it goes. Okay, it went over there. And now I want to launch an attack on this king. Can I check first, but then the king just moves over? Or no, they could block with the bishop. That's not good. And I do know that they're about to come for my knight. And they have a rook and a queen over there. I don't know. You know what? Let's put this rook lined up there just in case that comes in handy at some point. They're about to push the G pawn, I think. No, they're going to push the H pawn. Okay. This isn't looking good, is it? Because once I take there and they take back, then this pawn's going to be pinned. So I'm going to need to do something about that. Or let them take me. Is it going to hurt me if they take that pawn? Yes, it is, because they'll be controlling those two squares with the pawn. Well, I mean, I said before I started I probably wouldn't beat this bot, and it looks like that's going to be the case. Let me just check here and see what they do. If they block with the bishop, that'll get the bishop off of this knight for a second. They did block with the bishop. Okay, and then can I... No, the bishop is guarding that square. Wow. And I can't swing over here and threaten a mate because the bishop's guarding that square too. I might be done. That might be the case here. The reason I went there is because as soon as I move this knight, which I'm planning to do very soon, my queen will be aimed here. But where can I move the knight? I can't move the knight anywhere good, can I? Okay, well, it's probably about over. It feels like it's about over. Their queen's going to step over to the H-file, I assume, and there's nothing I can do about it. If I take here, they go all the way down and that's mate. I think I have to move my king and then come around this way, but then they just put a rook over here. It's, you know what, let's try it. That way if they check me now, I can get out of check, and I'm still looking at this pawn. Oh, they did check me. All right. Then we have to go here. They're going to check me with the rook, which I will have to block with the knight, or get out of check this way. Oh no, they're going to take the pawn. Oh, it took them a long time. You saw how long it took them to do that, right? They're threatening the rook, which is undefended. But if I go here, the rook is defended. And maybe I can get the knight there. Oh wow, they're going to promote. Good grief. Can I get in front of it? No, then they put the rook down here. What? Yeah, this one's not playing like a 1500 rated bot for sure. At least it doesn't feel like it. Sorry, I forgot to talk for a little bit, but I'm trying to focus on this, and it just looks like I'm getting toasted here by this bot. At least that's what it feels like. However, I did gain a pawn when it promoted there, so I don't know. I assume it's just going to come after these pieces with those pawns and everything else, but I have no idea what it's going to do, and I can't really get to that bishop right now, can I? And that bishop's guarding this diagonal here, where I want to check that king. So yeah, the reason that this feels a lot more like a bot to me is that it's severely restricting what moves I can make. Every move that I look at making, it's like, oh, they're guarding that spot. I don't get that feeling when I'm playing Martin or the other types of bots, or even the bots up to my rating range. Like we get into complex positions and I blunder, and sometimes the 1200 rated bot or 1300 rated bot will beat me, but I don't get into positions like this where I feel like I'm playing a 2200 rated bot, where it's severely restricting every move I could possibly make. And that's what it feels like here. Yeah, this feels like it's about to hit my knight, and then they're going to pin my knight, so I have to, and I can't stop that pawn from coming, so I just have to move the knight before it gets there, and then they're going to check me. Yep. And then they're going to move this rook over? No, they're going to, yeah, aiming for right there. Okay. Oh, and that. Yeah, they had a fork going on. But you see, it took several seconds for the bot to decide if that was a good move, whereas a human would have done that automatically had they lined up there on those two pawns. So it definitely feels like I'm playing a bot. Yeah, and they're bringing the next pawn down. You know what, though? Let's see if we can get the queen out of there first. The knight's guarding that spot. The knight is guarded. No, the queen would just go to b2 if I did that. Oh, wow. All right. Now, where's the queen going to go? All the way to there? Okay. Lining up on that, so I can't move this pawn. I think it's trying to get my rook off the back rank so that I won't be guarding this spot. It's not checking just for the fun of it. It wants me to block with the rook and then put the queen down here, maybe? No, because then I could put the queen back. No, if I block with the rook, it's going to put the bishop there. Okay. Can I just move the king this way then? Oh no, my knight's still guarding that. Okay. Can I come around this way and stop that pawn? Oh, I guess I have to. That was a blunder, right? I'm pretty sure that was a blunder. I know I'm in deep time trouble, but that's because the bot doesn't have the same problem with time that I do. I'm threatening their rook, but I think them giving up their queen was a blunder. That's a check, and should win the bishop. But yeah, that definitely was not a human-like blunder. It was playing like a bot and then made a bot-like blunder. So I will just say this, I almost resigned before it hung its queen. Threatening the rook, where's it going to go? It's going to go there. Okay, let's ignore that for a second and check. Is it going to go back this way? I think that would be best for it. Oh, it did. Yeah. It took it a second to think about that. Is this mate? It is, because my pawn guards that square and my rook cuts off that. Okay. Yeah, I'm willing to bet that I was quite a ways behind, but then the bot started making bot-like blunders, not human-like blunders. But we're about to find out. Okay, I think I was right. Just having seen the graph that has finished populating down here at the bottom, you can see the bare end of it here where I had a huge advantage, but black was getting a bigger and bigger advantage throughout the middle game. It looks like it made a mistake or a blunder just as we went to the end game, but again, it began to build a bigger and bigger advantage. I assume playing perfect moves. And then all of a sudden, huge blunders there that gave me the advantage back. So I'm going to guess that's where it hung the queen, right around here someplace. Is that all showing up? Okay, I'm going to turn this on and see. Yeah, it was actually -4.5 here. Let's give it a second. Okay, now here is where the bot pushed the pawn, perhaps in a human-like attempt to get me to take it. I think that's what that was. It was an attempt to distract this knight from defending this pawn, because if I had taken the pawn with my knight, they would have had checkmate. But I realized at the last second they didn't have checkmate yet because my knight was guarding that. So when they pushed the pawn, I thought I could go after it with my king. A computer move here would have been queen to h3 or rook to h8. Queen to h3, I think, would have been threatening a queen trade, which I assume would have been in their favor since the bot was 2 pawns ahead. These 2 pawns, I'm guessing, they're both passed pawns, not to mention the A pawn, which is also passed. But those pawns on the queen side there are equal, just not symmetrical. But these 2 pawns are extra. So a queen trade would have been good, and the computer says I should have just not taken the queen trade, but stay here where I can continue guarding the rook and stuff. And then once I did that, for unknown reasons, they would have pulled this back here, and they would have been up -5. But those would have been bot moves. I don't know what a human would have played here. As a human, but not representative of the average human, I don't think. So I don't know what I would have played here if I was playing with the black pieces. I might have been tempted to try to bring this around something like this and line up here. H3 doesn't look bad. I would have known that I'm ahead. I have 2 extra passed pawns. Every big, powerful piece we can trade off the board would benefit black at this point. So I might have seen that. I don't think it would have been a great or brilliant move. It would have just been a, hey, I'm bothering you. If you trade right now, I'm going to have, because the bishop's going to take back, then I'm going to have these extra pawns. And your rook and your knight are going to have to worry about those. Get over there fast. And in the meantime, who's going to stop this one? I guess the king's going to have to get over here and stop that one while the knights and the rook worry about these F and G pawns. Just looking at the position, I think a human would have found that rather than this, but a human might have played that too. Okay. But that didn't give me the advantage. That just put us close to even. But I did play the only move, and I don't know how long I spent on it, but it feels like in my memory that I played that pretty quickly because I almost did this, but realized I need the knight to stay there, and then the only other way to stop that pawn is to move the king. Let's see what the clock says. Okay, it's at about 6 seconds came off, so +2 for the increment. So okay, 8 seconds. That's not bad to find a crucial only move in the end game. Oh yeah, and the graph down here, definitely you can see where it says end game. We're halfway through the end game here. In a recent video, it came up that there was no solid, universally agreed upon definition of end game, or what makes the difference between late in the middle game versus early end game. Nobody can agree on it. Some people say the queens have to be off the board. Other people say not necessarily. Some people have come up with a point system. If you have more than X points, not counting pawns and kings, then it's not the middle game yet. I mean, it's not the end game yet. But anyway, Lichess's game review here definitely says this is the end game, in case you're curious. Okay, the bot could have drawn here had it played queen to d6. I don't know what that does. It's not aiming at the knight because the knight is protected. It's not aiming here, or g4. I could see playing g4 or queen to g2. I'm not sure what that would have done either. And again, I don't know what a human would have played here, but I'm pretty sure they wouldn't have just promoted, although there's no way to protect this pawn right now. Yes, there is. No, that just loses a bishop. Okay, yeah, there's no way to protect this pawn, so they might as well promote. I don't know if that makes sense, because I guess I'm going to take it anyway. Is that the thinking here? No, because thinking as a human, again, maybe not a typical human, but somewhere close to average in chess, if they did something like g4, which is the top recommended move, and then I took this, they're going to get a free pawn right here. Because if I take back with the knight, they take with check. So yeah, I can see there's no point in promoting this pawn and just losing it. But that's what they did. That's a mistake, and puts us at +1. It's +1 if I take with my rook. Okay, I get that. I think it maybe because it's threatening coming down here. Yeah, because they would definitely want to put the queen on g2. And maybe that's why g2 was one of the suggested moves earlier. But yeah, right now my top move is to take with the rook, which is threatening this. So they would put the queen on g2 to protect against the a8 square. But I took with my king, which actually gives black a very slight advantage again. If they'll offer to trade queens again, because they're still up a pawn and still have 2 passed pawns. I don't have any passed pawns. And it doesn't matter that I have an extra one here. It's not doing anything. But only if they'll play queen to h3. But here they just gave away the queen for no reason. Okay, that's what I thought. I didn't know that the other stuff is what gave away their huge advantage and brought us close to even. I thought they had a huge advantage until right here. I thought the pawn was maybe a wasted move or something, but I didn't realize that it brought us close to even, that thing there. But yeah, this obviously, like how bad would it have been if they took with the bishop? It still would have been even. Yeah, I shouldn't have even taken back, although I probably would have. I admit it, I probably would have taken back. My best move now is queen to e6 check, because the bishop's gotten off of this diagonal. Queen to e6 check moves the queen, moves their king up here, and then I would check they're protected by the knight, and the king would drop back, and I'm not going to open and follow the rest of the line. But maybe after doing that, then I would take this, or maybe I would just leave it. I don't know. But I think that's what I would have done had I been playing with the black pieces. I might have taken that with the bishop, because even if white takes back here, I mean, black gets the queen in a pretty solid spot, but taking with the queen didn't make any sense, which is what they did. Yeah, and the only move there. Okay. The bot did make one more blunder, according to this review. We played my best move, their best move, my best move, their best move, my only move, and then the bot blundered here. It should have gotten the bishop out of danger, but instead it just went there, which, wait, that gets it out of danger. Oh, but it allowed the fork. Yeah, which I found. So good for me. Well, I was curious after one of you asked the question in the comment, had I ever played these bots? I had not until today. So that was the Maia 1 bot and the Maia 5 bot. I did detect a difference despite them both being rated in the 1500s rapid. My conclusion is that the first one just played relatively simple moves and then missed some things. It didn't feel that human to me, but again, not typical, right? This one didn't feel human at all, the Maia 5 bot. Even though it's only rated, 60 points higher than the other one in rapid, this one felt like it was making bot moves. And again, you can look at the graph. It's getting steadily better and better position. And I wasn't even making mistakes during most of that, just slight inaccuracies or maybe just not the ideal move. And the bot was making the best move, the best move, the best move. And then it would make a huge mistake and take us almost back to even. But then best move, best move, best move, best move. That doesn't feel like a human to me, not at my level. And then, again, I didn't know the pawn things were mistakes or blunders there, but the queen, giving up the queen, okay. Yeah, this one didn't feel like a human at all, but I'm glad I won. I'm just definitely not going to try the Maia 9 bot, because I just assume it's going to be more like this. Thank you for spending your time here. Hopefully, you're doing well at chess. I'll see you next time.